as Buddy recalls the story, he was about to retire, as I remember. And his agent said, "There's a show, a script I want you to hear." I guess he had heard it from Al. So Buddy came into Al's office, and I read the script, the pilot script, and he enjoyed it so much. He said, "Forget about retirement. I'd love to do this show." And once we had the anchor, the main character of Jed Clampett, the rest was just a matter of casting. Mm-hmm. And speaking of Bea Benaderet, she was more than just a good actress. She was, in my opinion, a fine judge of material. And I asked her to read the script. And she said, "This is wonderful. This is wonderful." She said, "I'd love to play Granny." And I said, "Bea, you're not built like my picture of Granny." And so she was present when we had the screen tests. And meantime, Irene Ryan had paid a visit. She was on the Universal lot, and she came by the office. We had used her on the Dennis Day show, Irene Ryan. And she came by, and I said, "Irene, do you think you could play the part of a hillbilly?" And she said, "Are you kidding?" She says, "I was in stock company, and we played a theater in Arkansas." And she said, "We kept waiting for the curtain to go up. We were backstage, kept waiting. And finally, the curtain didn't go up, and there was nobody in the theater. So we went out and talked to the manager. We said, 'Why don't you let the people in?' And he said, 'If I let them in before it's time for the curtain to go up, they whittle away the seats.'" She said, "So I know hillbilly." And when we had the screen tests, Bea Benaderet was there to try out for the part of Granny. And as soon as Irene Ryan read the part, Bea came over to me and she says, "There's Granny." She had an infallible eye for a script and for a character. She was just wonderful. So with Buddy Ebsen and Irene Ryan and Donna Douglas, we were then wanted Jethro. And Max Baer was just one of the many fellows who came in and read for the part. But Max had a wonderful humor about him. He was a big man and normally would be threatening. I mean, he was so powerful. But he had this wonderful, silly grin that, you couldn't be afraid of him. Your heart went out to him. And Max, we were so, so fortunate in casting. We got the perfect cast. And we were together as a family. Bea Benaderet then became Jethro's mother, and we worked together closely for 9 years. And I remembered Nancy Culp from the Bob Cummings show. She was the erudite, perfect stenographic person. And of course, Schulze was the main member of the. Ruth recommended Rosemary DeCamp as Dwayne Hickman's mother, and so it all came together. Well, at the Banker Drysdale, I cannot remember how Raymond Bailey came to read for the part, but of course he was wonderful. Mm-hmm. He was perfect, and I had a clear idea of how I wanted the banker to be because I had had an experience with a banker in Arkansas, of all places, and he worshiped money. He literally worshiped money, and so Banker Drysdale became a man who worshiped money. I remember Nancy Culp, when he would have a trauma, she would bring him to by waving money under his nose to inhale instead of the smelling salts.